Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Margie Martin, Dean of the Chicago campus, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our virtual celebration of the class of 2021. President Nealon, I'm honored to announce that members of the clinical psychology graduating class, friends, family, and faculty are now present. All are gathered here to celebrate the class of 2021. Before we begin, I have just a couple Zoom housekeeping notes. Guests will remain muted for the duration of the ceremony to reduce the background noise, but please feel free to post comments in the chat box. And remember, everyone can see them. And I've seen many of you are already starting to do that, which is fantastic. To reduce background and feedback noise, if you're using multiple devices, such like a phone and a computer, please make sure both are muted or not in the same room. And if you're having any technical issues during the celebration, please use the IT contact information posted in the chat box. Matt Pompey just posted that, and you might want to write that information down just in case you're disconnected. Each graduate will be spotlighted as their name is called, and make sure to turn your camera on at that point. We want to celebrate you. The celebration will be recorded, and we will post that on our website. So graduates, we will email you that link just as soon as that recording is posted. And you're invited to share these important memories with your friends and family on social media today. Use the hashtag TCSPPgrad. We are so delighted that families and friends of our graduates have joined us from around the world to celebrate this important day. Welcome and thank you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Michelle Nealon, President of the Chicago School of Professional Psychology.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to be here for our virtual celebration of the Chicago campus class of 2021. For our graduates, this event is the culmination of several years of study.
Oh, did we lose Michelle or Dr. Nealon?
Did we lose Dr. Nealon? Oops. All of a sudden it looked like she jumped out. I mean, maybe got lost the connection. Well, I'll continue on. I make sure I don't want to interrupt her, but she'll be back for sure. Believe me, she can't wait to join.
Good to get the technical difficulties out early, right?
Yes, believe me, you have to have one. So I'll continue though. We know this event for our graduates is really many years that you've put into this. And it's an event that really is everything you've hoped and dreamed for. You might have wanted to be in person, but it's a great celebration today. For our faculty, I know they've toiled with you along the way. This event is so important for them as well. It really is a moment of pride in your accomplishments, and they're so happy to be here with you. So it's a momentous occasion. It's a time to celebrate. It's a time we're going to hear stories. We're going to see family members. We're going to see your pets maybe or children today and partners. There's going to be laughter. There will be tears, and there's going to be lots of applause. So and there will be some technical difficulties. We know that will happen. But above all, it's going to be a memorable time. So now I'm going to introduce your department chair, Dr. Annie Slobig.
Thank you so much, Dr. Martin. Graduates, partners, spouses, friends, family members, and my esteemed colleagues. I want to extend my warmest welcome to all of you as we celebrate the accomplishments of this graduating class and indeed the transformations they've undergone since embarking on their rigorous programs of study. The journey to become a clinical psychologist isn't like other graduate training. Of course, we expect students to develop as scholars, to demonstrate numerous specific competencies associated with our profession, mastering theory and technique, learning vast bodies of literature, acquiring ways of learning and making sense of new knowledge. And after all, graduates, you're going to keep learning for the rest of your careers. We ask them also, though, to grow in ways that are deeply personal. I suspect you all agree with me that we have asked that of you. We ask you to confront biases, to examine the assumptions that have informed the ways you know in the past. We ask you to think deeply about the subjective experiences of others, especially those who turn to you in their moments of greatest vulnerability. We ask you to appreciate the nuance and complexity of the most elaborate social systems, as well as the briefest interpersonal encounters. It has not been easy. Paradoxically, we're asking you to claim all of this accumulated knowledge, take up authority, offer expertise, while simultaneously tolerating not knowing, welcoming ambiguity, and humbly remaining open to learning. It's quite a demand. And of course, to amplify an already monumental mandate for your deep personal and professional development, you are finishing your training in the context of the devastating global 19 crisis, in the wake of tremendous social unrest in our nation and against a backdrop of a deeply polarized society. It's a graduation, so I do want to share a quote. This is from a very brief story that I found helpful over the last several months since I heard it on a podcast, of course. I was listening to an interview with Maria Konnikova. She's a psychologist who studied decision-making. She's a writer, and interestingly, she's a poker champion. She told a story from her poker mentor, Eric Seidel, who taught her the game. And Maria had been complaining that Eric's way of teaching her was not very prescriptive. He didn't tell her how to play a specific hand, but rather how to think about the options and how to evaluate the various decisions. Honestly, when I heard this, it brought to mind some very good, if quite frustrating at the time, experiences of supervision I had when trying to learn how to be a therapist. So he shared with her that he had been talking with one of the world's most successful poker players, who was describing a very strong opinion about the best way to play a specific hand. And Eric's response to him was just one phrase: less certainty, more inquiry. And I think that's a pretty good rule to fall back on. Less certainty, more inquiry. Graduates, there's a lot of work waiting for you. We are very excited to see where your careers take you. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce our faculty speakers today, Dr. Nancy Bothney and Dr. Cynthia Lubin-Langtu.
Hello,
and
welcome to our
2021
commencement.
My name is Nancy Bothney.
And I am Cynthia Lubin-Langtu.
We are core
faculty
in
Clinical
Psych D
Chicago.
Chicago. We are honored to be celebrating.
You are graduates.
We all know that graduate school is not a summer camp.
You have modeled vicarious resilience through the hurricane of the past year and a half.
Your path to this graduation ceremony has surely had its challenges. You were not successful every day and had to get up and face those challenges. Then, just as soon as you could see a finishing line in sight, you experienced relocation, a global pandemic, your own isolation, and an incredible demand for equity in health, for racial justice, for assistance in overall mental health services, all while you were sharing many of the same struggles as your clients. We know your family and friends who are here today have helped support you to get to this point.
We also know
that you
are ready for the challenges ahead. I think of this time as a clearing. In the words of Rumi, a violent sweeping of our house, making space for what will be. Author Arundhati Roy likens the pandemic to a portal between the past and what will be. What will you take into the future with you? The future
beckons. We look to your dissertation topics as insight into your readiness, focusing on trauma in multiple forms as you have.
You've examined responses to life challenges that contemplate suicide, overeating, isolation, and life dissatisfaction.
Acknowledging particular populations of people, underserved youth, LGBT young adults, third-generation Holocaust survivors, transgender women, people dissatisfied with their babies, people dissatisfied with their bodies.
The human needs of people are challenging. We who practice psychology to decolonize our practice, to avoid pathologizing and instead emphasize strengths. We urge you to consider how to meet human needs by working for human rights. The effort to decolonize is not a moment, it's a movement. One that calls for us all to critically examine implicit and explicit bias in the culture of our chosen field.
We together, we know how people suffer. We know that marginalization of people provokes and perpetuates that suffering. With the skills and understanding human behavior that you have, you can contribute to the well-being of the communities in which people live, the communities that contribute to the challenges and strengths that are a part of all of our lives. We have learned from the legacy of George Floyd, just as so many other scholars have reminded us, that healing can be political and that the political can be healing.
We urge you to contribute to the liberation of people and communities, to advance well-being and promote inclusionary policies that address health disparities. Use your multifaceted clinical skills to center those who have historically been pushed to the margins. Practice from an ethic of love.
Let's be ambitious. Let's look to a world that offers a future, that offers hope.
As
Kwame Alexander has reminded us
in his
poetry, when you see hope, you've arrived. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce our first student speaker representing the class of 2021, Dr. Peter Durham.
Oh man, doctor.
Almost.
Well, hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Peter Durham. I am an avid fan of attention, so this is somewhat of a dream come true for me. That being said, I've had the privilege of being a part of the Chicago School for the greater part of the last decade. Through that time, I've had the good fortune of learning from some of the most amazing instructors and sitting next to some of the most incredible people who I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. The last year and a half has been unprecedented. Humanity as a whole has been tested and pushed far beyond its limits of comfort, security, and familiarity. In that time, a lot of disturbing trends and manifestations of systemic injustice, oppression, and inequality continue to be uncovered and have become all too common in the media. Families and friendships have been torn apart and tested because of differing beliefs and personal philosophies. Fear has become the daily experience for the majority and continues to be a lifestyle for so many more. The reason I'm saying this, essentially the whole purpose for this speech and the entire reason I wanted to be able to talk to all of you is because I feel it is my purpose to take this opportunity to commend everyone on their powerful and deeply meaningful devotion to the service of others. All of you know these hard truths. You are repeatedly and continuously immersed in the daily struggle of both your lives as well as your patients. You have all chosen to go into the dark and provide light to those in need. Each and every one of you wakes up every day and pursues the exceedingly difficult path of serving individuals who are consumed by fear. Every single one of you has dedicated your lives to trying to improve those around you in some form or another. Simply put, all of you place the world's struggles on your shoulders and you stand up. Although this may seem exaggerated or cliche to some, my response to you is why? It is perfectly fine to doubt yourself periodically. Everyone should. It is okay to question your methods and beliefs. This is a part of growth. However, it is paramount that you validate your achievements in everything you've done up until this point, because it is simply profound. Finally, before getting kicked off the Zoom meeting, I want to provide everyone graduating in this room with 3 short statements that I want you to keep with you for the rest of your lives. I believe these statements are things that are not said enough during the arduous and relentless process of training. Number 1, you are intelligent. The amount of information that you parse through while doing assessment or therapy while still remaining in the moment is nothing short of incredible. Number 2, you are exceptional. Just take a moment and reflect on all the responsibilities you've balanced over the years while planning for the future, while still remaining somewhat of a person. And finally, and most importantly, you are you. And everyone in this room is so unbelievably grateful that you are who you are. I want you to remember these statements moving forward, especially when life gets hard and when life gets scary, because these statements are always going to be true. Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations again, class of 2021.
Thank you, Peter. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next student speaker representing the class of 2021, Dr. Felix Dice.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations. It is good to see you all here, even just scrolling through tiny Zoom windows. I know I feel some sadness that we are not in person together, but I'm glad at least to honor this day. Last year's endings came and went with so little fanfare or preparation, it was almost possible to not notice they'd happened at all. So, I very much hope your celebrations today extend beyond this call. It has been a long 5 years and a short 5 years. I remember desperately competing for the few available children to test in our first assessment class, wondering how we'd possibly fill a 30-minute intake role play, and panicking over practicum interviews where we pretended we had some real knowledge of what we'd be asked to do. Now here we are, doctors, experts, people who really do have answers to those questions on interviews. And on this day where we celebrate how much we've learned, I want to remind you all, and myself, that we also know nothing at all. I've learned how important it is to remember the limits of our knowledge, to remain curious and humble from watching horror movies. Almost every one starts with a moment of arrogance. Oh, that big house on the hill can't possibly be haunted. Or, let me just test this new medication on myself. It's totally safe. Or my favorite, I know enough about snakes. Let me play with this space snake I just found. For those not familiar with the genre, none of these situations ends well. Now, I don't think any of us is about to star in our own horror movie. I certainly hope not. But I do know that we are at a crisis moment, a crossroads, in our lives, in the lives of our countries, and in the life of our world. Proceeding with the confidence these 5 years have built, and also with beginner's curiosity, gives us the best chance for better lives, for both ourselves and for our clients. In our clinical work, this means falling back on the basics, listening to and trusting our clients, learning from them. This especially means privileging the voices that are not privileged elsewhere. The voices of Black bodies, trans bodies, femme bodies, queer bodies, brown bodies, disabled bodies, the bodies of the elderly and of children. Every client we speak to sees the world from a place we never can alone. Thank them with your care. Make your clinical space the world you want to live in. As for the larger world, I believe the same rules hold. This is what drew me to clinical psychology. The promise that by learning to do my job, I might learn also to be a better human. Today, we are doctors, and for that reason alone, many will listen when we speak. Share your voice with those who others silence. Actively listen inside and outside of session. Know when to say, I don't know. There are hard conversations ahead of us. But that's enough of the hard truths for today. We have chosen a career that asks us to hold a whole lot of darkness, knowing that accepting it brings hope. But today, forget it all. Parties somewhere. Hug those you can. We have done it, and we have learned so much. Thank you all.
Greetings, graduates and invited guests. It is my great pleasure to introduce our honored speaker today, Mr. Raul Raimundo. Mr. Raimundo has long understood the challenges and strengths of working class and immigrant families. After earning his bachelor's degree from Carleton College in Northfield, Minnesota, he returned to the Chicago neighborhood where he grew up and co-founded the Resurrection Project in 1990 with seed capital of $30,000 from 6 Chicago area parishes. Since its inception, the Resurrection Project has leveraged this capital into over $600 million in community investment and positively impacted thousands of individuals in Southwest Side Latino city neighborhoods and in the western suburbs. Under Mr. Raimundo's leadership as CEO, the Resurrection Project seamlessly blends community development, community organizing, human service delivery, and advocacy to build healthier and engaged communities. And today is one of the region's most innovative and effective community development organizations working in every area of community life. Mr. Raimundo currently serves on several local and national boards, including chair of the board of Self-Help Federal Credit Union, with its multi-state operations and national policy impact. He also is co-chair of the American Business Immigration Coalition, a member of the board of the National Association of Latino Asset Builders, Start Early, the Illinois Justice Project Advisory Board, St. Anthony Hospital Ministry Board, and a member of the leadership team for the United Power for Action and Justice. Mr. Raimundo is a recipient of numerous awards and recognitions, in addition to being a Greater Chicago Leadership Fellow, and has mentored many leaders in Chicago and across the nation. It is my distinct pleasure and deep honor to introduce Mr. Raul Raimundo as our honored commencement speaker.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to share this celebration of accomplishments with the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. I am grateful and honored to share this platform with such distinguished community. I must admit, prior to receiving this invitation, I had limited knowledge of the Chicago School. But as I learned more of your mission, your focus on diversity, social responsibility, and the many accomplishments of your worldwide alumni, I am humbled to have been invited to share my thoughts. First, on behalf of the Resurrection Project, congratulations, felicidades. Your accomplishments would be impressive at any time, but they are especially remarkable considering all that we have been through this past year. As you know, the COVID-19 crisis, police brutality, and other injustices, coupled with the imbalanced recovery of the 2008 recession, has seriously exposed the inequities in health, housing, education, childcare, wealth, and citizenship. Despite all the challenges you have witnessed and or experienced, you have persevered. Today, you are demonstrating the resolve not just to become an alum, but also to make a difference in our social fabric. I agree with the Chicago School statement, a new normal is not good enough. If a new normal is just going back to pre-pandemic times, then where's the justice in that? I too believe in the world like the Chicago School, where homelessness is reduced, mental health is destigmatized, everyone has access to quality and integrated healthcare. Healthcare disparities are eliminated, and of course, all healthcare professionals are culturally competent. I believe that coming out of these crises, we need stronger, more vibrant, and healthier individuals and communities everywhere. The next economic and social recovery should leave no one behind. As someone who has been fighting for social and economic justice for multiple decades, I know things won't get resolved overnight. It takes patience and tremendous hard work. As an immigrant from Mexico, I was taught at a very young age the value of service and giving back to community. In 1990, 2 years out of college, I co-founded the Resurrection Project in the community that I grew up with $30,000 seed capital from area parishes. Our mission was and still is to build relationships and challenge people to act on their faith and values to build a healthier community. Early on, as a community organizer, I understood the power of one-on-one relationships. Having conducted hundreds of them, I learned how to listen and understand people's self-interest. In other words, what would motivate people and institutions to act? In doing so, we built power, forged partnerships, and built the know-how to act through the self-interest identified. We learned how to address an issue instead of pretending to solve an entire problem. For example, homelessness is a huge problem, but we made it into an issue in our neighborhood. By doing so, we not only helped to preserve the doors open for the homeless shelter, but also acquired the only single-room occupancy building in the neighborhood. Today, the Resurrection Project is a multifaceted regional social impact organization that operates with an entrepreneurial spirit and takes action on how it impacts a person's life. Part of the strategic action is converting problems into issues. Like the homelessness example, we recognize early on that we can come up with solutions for issues because issues are winnable and achievable rather than mistakenly believe that we can solve an entire problem. We also work from an asset-based perspective rather than a deficit viewpoint. In other words, we decided to build on the tangible assets and non-tangible assets of the community. The tangible assets included, for example, its geography, its churches, and other institutions. The non-tangible assets, equally important, if not more, are in the culture, the language, the values, and the spirit of the community. I believe that every challenged community in the world has positive attributes to build from. The Resurrection Project and the School of Professional Psychology have a lot in common as two unique social impact organizations. The Chicago School's values of education, innovation, service, and community are in alignment with our core values of passion, character, and commitment. For us, passion is acting with faith, confidence, and conviction to serve society. Character is operating with respect, professionalism, morals, and ethics. Commitment is driven to go above and beyond a sense of duty and obligation. As you go into your journey to make a difference, you will go into diverse communities to work with people who are eager learners, activists, advocates, as well as people in need. As a future change agent, I look forward to our paths crossing and continuing to make a difference in people's lives. As you know, the crises we have witnessed are not over. As the pandemic wanes, many will get through it fine, others will struggle to get back on track, and unfortunately, many already, over 3 million worldwide and 600,000 in the United States have perished. Also, the other inequities exposed during the pandemic, especially in poor communities and communities of color, have widened. I believe that the education you have received at the Chicago School has prepared you to be change agents. Our mission must include relating with others and fighting side by side for social and economic justice. We don't live alone. We belong to a community, and hence it is not enough just to show empathy for one another. Accountability and responsibility are paramount in our own personal mission. The pandemic has reminded us of that. Moving forward, we need to do things differently to make things better. Let's unify our spirits and our values and act with conviction, because creating a new normal society is not good enough. Once again, I congratulate you and wish you much success in taking on issues you seek to address. With you as change agents, I look forward to a better world.
Thank you, Mr. Raimundo, and it's now my great pleasure to confer this honorary degree. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Chicago School of Professional Psychology, I hereby confer upon you, Mr. Raul Raimundo, the degree of Doctor of Humanities honoris causa, with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Raul Raimundo, I am pleased to present this honorary degree to you. Congratulations.
It is my pleasure to announce that we shall now proceed with the presentation of candidates for degrees. Each candidate will have been approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees to receive the degree indicated on their diploma, subject to the completion of all degree requirements. I would like to invite Dr. Slobig to begin the presentation of graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. We will now present the candidates for the Master of Arts in Clinical Psychology degree and spotlight each candidate as their name is read. Graduates, if you have not done so yet, please turn on your cameras. Please feel free to unmute yourselves to cheer for your fellow graduates after their names are read. Please wait until the names, and when we get to the doctoral candidates, all the dissertation titles are read, and then you can applaud and cheer. Thank you. McKenna Dunham. Congratulations. Erica Lee Hashberger. Congratulations, Erica. Callie Joyce. Yay! Jacqueline Monsivitz. Congratulations, Jacqueline. That wins so far for decoration, I think. I will now present our candidates for the Doctor of Psychology and Clinical Psychology. Are you ready, spotlighters? Reading their names will be the dissertation chairs or another member of the faculty, and the candidates will be spotlighted, as you can see with Shantae's first. Candidates, please put on your hood as your name is read. And again, folks, let's please hear the full dissertation title. We're going to begin with Dr. Sue Bay.
Hello, Ashanti James. Implicit bias. You fit the description.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Congratulations, Dr. James.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Janiak. The perceptions of clinicians in training on mindfulness-based smartphone applications. Congratulations. Congratulations, Dr. Janiak. Abigail King, using the thought record for anger reduction and cognitive behavioral therapy. Congratulations, Dr. King.
All right.
Congratulations.
We now invite Dr. Leah Horvath to read the name of her advisee. There you are.
Brittany Ann Finland. Perceptions Matter, a qualitative approach to the role perception of parents' disordered eating behavior and body attitudes has on the development of eating disorders in adult children.
Yay!
Congratulations, Dr. Finland.
Woo!
I now invite Dr. Claude Barbary to read the name of his advisee.
Syed Hamza Quadri. His dissertation is entitled God Keeps His Promise, a narrative study of the psychosocial and spiritual development of memorizers of the Quran from an Islamic hermeneutical framework. Congratulations, Dr. Quadri. Thank you, everyone. I now invite Dr. Braden Berkey to read the names of his advisees.
Marcos Flores, The Psychological Effects of Community on Bisexual Men's Mental Health. Congratulations, Dr. Flores.
Yay!
Gabrielle Patton, Is There Room for Pride? Exploring the impact of high school climate on LGB young adults. Congratulations, Dr. Patton.
Woo!
Mindy Siegert Horgesheimer, The Incarceration of Transgender Women, a narrative perspective of life before, during, and after involvement with the correctional system. Congratulations, Dr. Siegert. I now invite Dr. Nancy Botany to read the names of her advisees.
Thank you. Taylor Greco, dissertation entitled Hours of Sheer Board, sprinkled with seconds of sheer terror, exploring views on mental health needs of police officers. Yay, Taylor. Yeah, and there are 17 others here to say yay as well. Victoria Vischer. Her dissertation is entitled Trauma-Informed Treatment Within a Jail Setting, Potential Barriers and Advantages to Implementation. Congratulations, Tori, Dr. Vischer. Ooh. Yay, yay. I now invite Dr. Janine Childs to read the name of her advisee.
Alyssa Fernandez, social support as a moderator between stress and suicidal ideation in college students. The dissertation chair was Dr. Luis Baca. Congratulations, Dr. Fernandez. I now invite Dr. Michelle Cutler to read the names of her advisees.
I'm back. Could you hear me? Should I do the whole thing again? Okay, sorry. I was saying hi, Mona. And Mona's dissertation, this is Mona Chandra, and her title is The Association of Somatic Symptoms and Abuse in Children. The dissertation chair was Dr. Becky Jones. Congratulations, Mona.
Woo!
Great to see you. And hi, Anne. Anne's dissertation title, this is great, is Forging a New Path, Empowering Teens and Creating Stability at Home, a program development for adolescents with parents with borderline personality disorder. Congratulations, Anne.
Thank you.
That is a celebration, well deserved. Michal Rosenberg, her dissertation title is A Narrative Study of Third-Generation Holocaust Survivors, Understanding Intergenerational Trauma's Impact on Jewish Identity in Secular and Orthodox Jews. Congratulations, Michal. And to your family. There he is, Ian. Ian Woodwick. His dissertation title, Tenacious Hope, a grounded theory model of how vicarious resilience develops with clinicians who work with children who have experienced trauma. Congratulations, Ian.
Woo!
Ooh. And I now invite Dr. Kim Delangela to read the names of her advisees.
Yolanda Estrada. Dissertation title was Cultural Competence in the Field of Neuropsychology, a Need for Advocacy. Her dissertation chair, Dr. Louise Baca. Congratulations, Dr. Estrada. Do we have Kathleen? You know, I saw her somewhere.
I just want to make it. I just think that was it.
All right.
Smile,
All right.
everyone.
Kathleen Warman. Her dissertation title is Latina Mothers' Lived Experience with Caring for a Child with Cancer. Congratulations, Dr. Warman. I now invite Dr. Todd DuBose to read the name of his advisees.
Felix Dice, the aporias of combined treatment and their impact on psychotherapeutic relationships and outcomes. Brothers and sisters, I present to you Dr. Felix Dice. Alexander DiChiara, dissociation, possession, or otherwise, a post-critical analysis of exorcism. Brothers and sisters, I present to you Dr. DiChiara.
What a stud. What a stud. Oh, man.
I now invite Dr. Robert Foltz to read the names of his advisees.
Ashley Devonshire, age of onset of trauma and resilience in adolescence. Congratulations, Dr. Devonshire.
Yay! Go Ashley! Woohoo!
Peter Durham, exploration into the relationship between anxiety and working memory, an analysis of subscales from the Child Behavior Checklist and the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, 5th edition. Congratulations, Dr. Durham.
Woo! Go Peter! Woo! Hey, Peter.
Natalie Price, Remembering Wholeness, a program development for case managers working with trauma. Congratulations, Dr. Price.
Yay, Natalie! Woo!
Catherine Rathbun, We Raised Him Right, an exploration of personal values for undergraduate males and their parents. Congratulations, Dr. Rathbun.
Woohoo! Woo!
And Ryan Walter, exploring one residential treatment center's experience with developing and initiating a post-discharge evaluation system, lessons learned from a homegrown approach. Congratulations, Dr. Walter. Great work. There's a balloon. And I now invite Dr. Rhonda Goldman to read the names of her advisees.
Okay. Bethany Rosner. Therapist self-disclosure. Insight and prophecy. Congratulations, Bethany Rosner. And next, Chelsea Wallen. Case formulation in emotion-focused therapy for couples, creating a refined model through task analysis. Congratulations, Dr. Wallen. Cheers. I now invite Dr. Jordan Jacobowitz to read the names of his advisees.
Hallie Berger, a qualitative phenomenological examination of the experience of overnight summer camp for underserved youth. Congratulations, Dr. Berger.
Woo! Go Hal! Woo!
Shaina Joseph, a bioecological approach to treating attention deficit hyperactive disorder, assessing data from the 2016 National Children's Health Survey. Congratulations, Dr. Joseph.
Woo!
Jordan Kennan. Implications of moderate traumatic brain injury. Congratulations, Dr. Kennan.
Go Jordan!
I now invite Dr. Kristen Velasquez Kenefic to read the names of her advisees.
Okay, Jose Enrique Vasquez Torres. The chair was Dr. Gregory Benson Flores. The psychological impact of Hurricane Maria on Puerto Ricans. Felicidades, Dr. Vasquez Torres.
Woo!
Hannah Buck. A new generation of treatment, developing a treatment program for millennials with fibromyalgia based on the biopsychosocial model. Congratulations, Dr. Buck.
Woo!
Well, Dr. Buck.
Erika Garcia Roca. Mindfulness as a protective factor in Latinx parents, an initial study. Muy felicidades, doctora Garcia Roca.
¡Woo! ¡Erika! First generation. ¡Sí se pudo!
Hello, we've got Catherine Hittman. Where are you? Hello, Catherine Hittman, Secondary Prevention Services for Pediatric Chronic Post-Traumatic Headache, exploring the needs of children following traumatic brain injury. Congratulations, Dr. Hittman.
Let's go, Kate. Let's go.
Hello. Andrew Schultz, Trends in the Psychological Evaluation of Law Enforcement Candidates. Congratulations, Dr. Schultz. I now invite Dr. Pamela Nuzlahowski to read the names of her advisees.
Haley Braun. The impacts of increased exposure of sexual harassment in the media. Congratulations, Dr. Braun.
Let's go, Haley. Well done.
A phenomenological study exploring postpartum depression and screening efficacy. Congrats, Dr. Perkach.
Go Ruby.
I now invite Dr. Cornelia Pinnell to read the name of her advisee.
Rebecca Diana Smith, dissertation titled The Effect of Social Media on Body Dissatisfaction. Congratulations, Dr. Smith.
Woo.
Let me start over.
Yeah,
Alexis Saunders.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I now invite Dr. Carrie Ronan to read the names of her advisees.
Alexis Saunders, investigating the effects of emotional support animals on mental health and well-being, a phenomenological approach. Congratulations, Dr. Saunders.
Woo.
Olivia Sutter, transgender and gender nonconforming assessment norms, a qualitative approach assessing current standards of care. Congratulations, Dr. Sutter.
Woo.
Come on, Donna, give her a kiss.
I now invite Dr. Anne-Marie Slobig to read the names of graduates whose chairs could not join us today.
Ready, Brittany? All right. Brittany Bredimus. Her dissertation is entitled A Consensual Qualitative Research Analysis of Prominent Multicultural Psychotherapy Researchers' Career Experiences. Congratulations, Dr. Bredimus. Her chair was Dr. Raja David. Way to go, Brittany. I now invite Dr. Robert Schweitzer to read the name of his advisees.
Jacob Barak. How training for physicians around palliative care be improved, exploring physicians' perspectives through phenomenological analysis. Well done, Dr. Barak. If the gods of technology are with us, I now invite Dr. Paul Larson to read the name of his advisee.
The gods of technology do smile upon us. Let me introduce Curtis Smith, combat veterans' quality of life through different treatment modalities of PTSD. Congratulations, Captain Smith, U.S. Army active duty.
Good, good, well done. Looking good, man.
What
Congratulations.
Whew. President Milan, on behalf of the clinical psychology faculty of the Chicago School of Professional Psychology, I present to you these candidates who have been approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees to receive the degree indicated, subject to the completion of all requirements, and respectfully request that you confer upon them the degrees for which they are qualified.
Thank you, Dr. Slobig. And you know, none of us ever anticipated that we're celebrating your success through Zoom. Yet what an honor it is to see all of you so up close with your family and friends, bottles of champagne, dogs, the whole thing. Just what an honor to join with you all in this way. So here we go. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Chicago School of Professional Psychology and by the state of Illinois, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have qualified with all of the rights, privileges, immunities, and honors thereunto pertaining. And now I invite all graduates to take a moment to show their appreciation to the people who have helped make today possible. Move your cursor to the upper right-hand corner of your screen, click on the gallery view, the 9 squares in a grid, go ahead and do it. And please turn around all together, unmute yourself, and applaud your friends and family who have helped you get here today.
One more coming when you.
Congratulations, graduates. Oh, we're so proud of all of you. I have tears in my eyes. I'm just so happy for you. But now a very important time for all of us is our oath of affirmation and diversity. And you do have to stay muted, but I want you, please say it out loud so all those with you can hear you. I want you to raise your right hand and recite with me in unison the oath of affirmation and diversity, which you'll see now on the screen. And other professionals who are with us today may join to reaffirm their oath. So here we go. I hereby affirm that I shall discharge the responsibilities of my profession in a manner consistent with the respect for the dignity and worth of the individual, and that I shall strive for the preservation and protection of fundamental human rights, that I shall seek to increase knowledge of human behavior, to increase self-understanding and the understanding of others, and that I shall use such knowledge for the promotion of human welfare, that I shall seek to embrace the profession's commitment to understand and respect individual and cultural differences, that I shall diligently protect the welfare of those who seek my services, and that I shall use my skills only in the furtherance of human welfare and the integrity of the individual, and that I shall well and truly recognize the traditions and ethics of my profession, and that I shall subscribe to these traditions and ethics freely and upon my honor. As a representative of the Chicago school community, I hereby affirm to actively participate in this learning and professional community by embracing its commitment to understand and respect individual and cultural differences. As such, I will seek to gain knowledge of human differences that I may increase my understanding of self and others, and I will seek to build an environment of mutual respect and inclusion where all are valued. And now it's my pleasure to turn it back to President Nealon.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. And class of 2021, congratulations once again. One of my proudest moments every year is just this one, the opportunity to welcome graduates into the alumni ranks of the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. I'm also pleased to congratulate and welcome your loved ones, the friends and family who have supported you as you pursued your dreams. I imagine that there is a common refrain to be heard in the commencement speeches delivered this year, one of overcoming adversity and rising to challenges rarely seen before. Indeed, it has been a year like no other. The obstacles you faced along the way, a global pandemic, the effects of a tenuous economy, political divisiveness, and social unrest. And yet here you are. You persisted. You met hardship and uncertainty head on with perseverance, grit, determination, and values that reflect those that define our unique university and that I know you will take with you as you embark on your postgraduate dreams. Your job now is to focus on the goals that paved your way to today. Many of you are entering the workforce, a workforce that sorely needs the skills you have honed during your years at the Chicago School. Like never before, there is a laser focus on mental and behavioral health services, on leadership, on the alignment of leadership and social justice, on accountability, and on the need to rethink the ways in which things have always been done. In so many areas, we need new approaches that can ensure more positive outcomes. Think of the need for mental and behavioral health services, for example. The pandemic is leaving in its wake increasing rates of depression, anxiety, and substance use. People continue to struggle with the effects of prolonged isolation, uncertainty about the virus's future, job loss, or economic hiccups in their lifestyle. And far too many will continue to struggle with grief or the long-term health consequences that COVID has wrought. Your knowledge and skills, whether performed in a clinic, a school, a business, a private practice, or somewhere else, will be critical to the ability of individuals, families, and organizations to bounce back. To be sure, we have experienced seismic shifts in our paradigm, shifts that I suspect will endure for some time. And we're only beginning to understand the full impact of these changes and the challenges that they truly present. Thousands of women, and especially women of color, for example, have dropped out of the workforce. So what can you do about that? We've come to rely as never before on technology for everything from routine meetings to healthcare. Is that the direction that we want to continue to move? We have become increasingly aware of the systemic barriers that separate people of color from the services that they need. What can you now do to change that? The sudden shift to virtual learning platforms for both the K through 12 and higher education systems left too many students struggling or disengaged. So what can you do about that? International tensions and domestic political tensions have intensified. How can each of you contribute to the easing of these tensions? These and more are indeed monumental problems, too big to be addressed by any one of us. But each of you can play a part. The diploma that you receive today is your ticket to tomorrow. There is not a specialty area taught at the Chicago School that does not have a significant role to play in shaping the way that we emerge from this most difficult time in our history. Your education has prepared you to face the future with strength, insight, optimism, and resilience. So, Chicago School alumni, we're depending on you. Everything that has happened this year comes with silver linings. Find the possibilities that are buried in the rubble of a tumultuous year and put your TCSPP values and education work to lead the way to a brighter tomorrow and for all of us. Congratulations again. And now to close us out, I turn it over to Elise Fowler.
Thank you, President Nealon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elise Fowler, and I am the Assistant Director of Alumni Relations and Development at the Chicago School. It is my pleasure to be here with you today to congratulate you on your graduation and to officially welcome you as members of the TCSPP alumni community. While your journey as a student has come to a close, we are hopeful that you will remain engaged as an alum and stay connected to the university in the years to come. In the coming weeks, you will be invited to join our online alumni networking platform, 360 Alumni, where you will have the opportunity to connect with fellow alums, explore networking and professional development events, along with access to a TCSPP alumni job board. We will keep you apprised of ways you can stay engaged with the school through monthly newsletters, which you will start receiving in August. You will learn more about ways in which you can stay involved, whether it's service on our Alumni Council, mentorship program, and more. We look forward to staying connected and supporting you in your professional growth. Again, congratulations on such a remarkable accomplishment and welcome to the TCSPP alumni community.
Thank you, Elise. Graduates, I look forward to continuing to learn from you as alumni. Please refer to the chat or to the email sent Friday for information about faculty Zoom gatherings, which will begin momentarily. These are going to start right away. Please stay safe and healthy. This concludes our celebration of the Clinical Psychology Class of 2021. Thank you and congratulations.